I'm your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
What's going on, everyone? And in this week's video, we are doing the SHFiguarts Spider-Man from the Gamerverse, and oh my god, I've wanted this figure for so long. When I got this on pre-order, I was like, I must have it now. But with that, if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, let me know what you think about this at the end of the video. And now let's open this thing up and check out what's inside the box. Alright, my first impressions are... Wait a second. Alright, my first impressions... What the Okay, my first impressions are... this figure looks really, really good. I was drawn to it immediately because of all these web lines, and we're going to get to that in the details section, but like right out the gate, this figure is looking fantastic, and I have zero visual complaints about it. This is where you can attach certain things, but we'll get to that. There is a piece that goes in there, so let's not worry about that. But for right now, let's go with articulation, and we're going to start with the head. The head, it's got that nice squeaky nice sound that I like, and it's got a good range of motion. I mean, look at that. That's just fantastic. Very well done, and it's, you know, it's Spider-Man, so I expect that. And so far, it's just perfect. And then now we're gonna move on to the shoulders. They still have the squeak, and this is where I run into a little bit of a, not really a problem, but they kind of tend to hang up in here a little bit, just a little bit. But they have a nice range of motion because of this joint right here. And the bicep spins around, tricep, bicep area like that spins around pretty well. But overall, oops, it just popped out. No, God! All right, so that popped out. That's a first, but I've been playing with this figure a lot. But it goes out, comes back in as that joint in there looked pretty good. So it wasn't like blown out, but that's where I was gonna say I have issues with this joint, particularly in this arm getting hung up. Also, you can see the metal in the ball joint, but that's fine. But let's move on to the elbows. Pretty good, nice and solid, feels good. Wrists feel great, nice range of motion. It feels great. Don't let that arm pop out fool you. That arm is still in there, really good. So it's not a big deal. And now we're gonna move on to the ab crunch, and it's got a Spider-Man ab crunch I've been dying for. There we go with that one. It's not too bad. It works because in the poses and photos section, you're gonna see some cool poses that I was able to pull off of this one. But let's move into the legs, and I'm really loving the legs on this. Nice and tight, nice and stiff feeling, but without being too stiff to where they feel like they're gonna break. They just feel like they can hold themselves and aren't blown out. And then the knee is nice too. You got that squeak. I love that squeak. Lets me know the joints are still good. At least that's just my opinion. It's got a good range of motion. Can twist here, can twist there. And you can pull off all sorts of different kinds of poses because the legs are a bit more dynamic. All these parts slide around, be able to do crouches and like air poses like that. And so it's pretty good. And then we're gonna move on to the ankles. They have a good feel. They do their thing. The toes as well. Nice rotation, spin. Everything fits and feels great. So articulation-wise, this figure has got it. It's got everywhere it needs to be. I have zero complaints. And now let's move on to details. What I really noticed first and foremost, as I said earlier, was the web lines. They're great. They're fantastic. And I feel like it gives this figure a whole lot more definition than some of the standard Marvel Legends. By that, I'm gonna say, here was the comparison. Here's the Marvel Legends Amazing Fantasy or Classic Spider-Man, and those web lines are just painted on. Whereas this one, the lines are, focus, actually part of the plastic mold, and they're actually in there, and it feels great. Also, this Spider-Man has like that, you know, obviously Marvel vs. Capcom look. He's pretty buff, he's got some height. But speaking of height, the SH is taller, obviously, which is actually really surprising. I really love the details. This figure is just fantastic. Another detail I thought was cool was the web. It looks really cool. It's got a nice little, it's a little stiff, so that gives it some like ability to hold the figure up, which I did in the beginning with him swinging across. It's got all the details that you would from like the comic book. And I really like that they did this with the web. It's really cool. So another detail I wanted to talk about quickly is the accessory, the web shield. It just looks really good and fits this figure so well, and I'm glad they included it in with the figure. It's just a great addition to the accessories and the details of the figure overall. And like its Cyclops counterpart, it came with these video game things, the Ultimate Web Throw. Won't fit in the view because we're using the new set, by the way. Well, partially new set 1.5. And this cool little cardboard backgrounds. So that was a neat little addition. One other detail with one of the accessories is the Spider-Sense acrylic plastic piece that it clips onto a thing that goes into the back. I call it a thing because I don't know what to tell you what it is. It's like this little L-shaped thing that plugs into the back of the figure. There's like a little plug you can pull out with a little tool that's included with it to attach this so you can get that Spider-Sense. And it's a cool little addition. It does have a plastic film over it to protect it. I didn't remove it because in case if I ever decide to sell this figure, which probably won't, I didn't want to remove that film, but this is an accessory that's really cool, adds to the level of detail, but I probably won't be using it when it's on my shelf. So with that said, the details, you got the nice blue color, the red, it's got that nice video game look. This is an incredible figure, but with that said, let's move on to my favorite section, poses and photos, and I really enjoyed this part because this figure was just really fun to shoot. Didn't do anything crazy or fancy, but let's go check that out right now.
All right, in this photo, I went for the web shooting while jumping. I thought it was really cool. I really like this pose. I kind of got the idea from the actual video game Marvel vs. Capcom that this figure is based on, so I figured why not? And this one is not a wall crawl, it's just the angle. It's like the weird kind of agile jump thing Spider-Man does. I don't know, I just wanted to do a cool pose. And this one's the web shield, it's obviously because it's a great pose with the accessory. Just like blocking the attack, like, yeah, what are you gonna do? And then here's the wall crawl that I was going for. That I used the same type of shot for the beginning of the video with the little intro. I actually like this picture a lot. And then this one I went with a little bit darker color. I love the mood. Wanted to show off a little piece of the diorama that I had worked on stream the other day, so yes.
All right, and my final thoughts is this figure, if you're a big Spider-Man fan, is an absolute must. Honestly, I really feel like there's nothing wrong with this figure except for maybe seeing this little metal part in here when you do certain poses. That's like the only really thing that's like bugs the crap out of me.
Fire! You sure about that?
All right, one thing I do want to point out after I filmed most of this video and messed with a bit, that this line right here is where these two pieces of plastic meet. Well, I was bending these legs a lot to do some like crazy poses for a short I was making. This came apart. It came apart, boop, but it has a peg and a hole slot like a model kit, and they went to get back together rather well. So I just wanted to point that out, that could become a problem if you're over posing, meaning like really crazy leg dynamics or just ganking it around and not really paying attention. So that's something to keep in mind, that that potentially could break and that could cause an issue. And for the price of this figure, I would say that's probably one of my biggest kind of like, so. But that's just what it is. It's part of the design. And it does affect the overall score rating of this, figure for me. Still a great figure. Still one of my favorites. Probably one of the best I've ever had. But just that alone is a point of main concern for me with this figure. And I would suggest anyone keep an eye on that. And I'm not sure this figure has any notorious QC issues. I haven't really dug deep into it. This was when I pre-ordered, and when I got it, I kind of set it aside for a little bit because just was into working on other things at the time. But I really got to say, the only real drawback for me is the price. The price is just like the price of figures, especially SHFiguarts, are kind of getting up there. And I can understand why people would not want to buy this for $100. I buy it because I wanted it personally. That's still a lot of money, but I'm able to make these videos for you. But on my personal note and recommendation, I really want to say I give this figure
a solid 9 out of 10, only because the price is really obscene, and that little metal piece in the arm joint there where the shoulder connects to the body, that I gotta nitpick something. So 9 out of 10, otherwise it's a great figure. I love it.
I have zero issues with this figure other than that. I mean, earlier the arm popped off, but that's because I was ganking on it, but it went right back in and it's solid. This is definitely the amazing Spider-Man, the spectacular Spider-Man, and the superior Spider-Man. So if you haven't already, please like, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see in the future. Let me know what you think about this figure. Let me know if you're going to get it or not. And with that, stay frosty.